Hello there, I'm Lex and I'm making a game. This time I'm going to be taking you through all the progress I've been making in the last month. If you watched my last video, I decided to change direction a bit. Instead of going deep on mechanics straight away, I decided to focus on a vertical slice, to prove that I can implement and amalgamate all of the features I'm going for. The first feature I want to go over is movement. As I mentioned in my previous video, I wasn't all that happy with the movement in the game, especially regarding slopes, so I decided to rework most of this from scratch. I ditched the built-in Unity character controller and instead went with a great free asset called Kinematic Character Controller. This asset, made by Philippe Saint-Amand, does a lot of the fiddly setup for kinematic body-based player controller. It's a code-heavy solution that requires manual integration into an existing code base, but it has excellent documentation. With an afternoon of playing around with this, I ended up with a vastly improved character controller that handles slopes and stairs flawlessly. Both things that my previous iteration had trouble with. After this, I moved on to animations. As you can see, I've decided to go with a full body first person player model. I've done this because I feel like it adds a lot of realism to a game, and actually proved not to be too challenging to implement. The system consists of a lot of animations downloaded and ranged from mixamo.com, a free site for character model animations. I needed to find animations for all of my possible states, including idle, walking, running and jumping. Once I found all of these, I hooked up an animation controller that will be responsible for handling all of the player animations. This uses a mix of blend trees and interruptible animations to seamlessly blend between all character states. I'm very happy with the results so far, for the amount of effort I had to put in. I've also experimented with animation masking, to begin to prototype how arms and holding items will work going forwards. As you can see, the player is holding a flashlight in the left hand. This has been achieved by using a masked animation of a character holding a torch that has been blended on top of all of the other animations. It also makes use of inverse kinematics, a tool for telling bones which rotations to use to position limbs at certain places. In this case, I use it to tell the hand on the player model to point at where the player is looking. 3D modelling is the part of the game development process that I have the least experience in. To kickstart my learning, I started following tutorials from an excellent content creator called Josh Gambrell, whose YouTube channel is dedicated to helping people learn hard surface modelling, which is the main type of modelling I'm using first. I first tasked myself with making a door, a usually simple object with some moving parts, but in my opinion a very key part of a space game's visual identity. I went through a few iterations before finally landing on something I was happy with. The visual style I'm going for is heavily inspired by the Alien films, as I love the retro-futuristic aesthetic and I think it fits very well into the type of game I'm aiming to make. All of the textures I'm using for the models I've made so far are made using Blender's Nodes tool, which is a really cool system that enables me to generate textures in a kind of visual programming language, which really suits me being a programmer at heart. I exported the models and textures using the Blender add-on Simple Bake, which allows me to really speed up the process of making Unity compatible models and textures. Once I got these models in game, I was able to work on some animations. I decided to do my hard surface animations in Unity to have more control over the process from code. I hooked up a collider and a simple animation controller to my doors so they would open and close when the player got near or walked away. Thank you for joining me for this devlog. I hope it was engaging and interesting and you're excited for my coming videos. If you have any feedback about the game or this series, please do let me know in the comments. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time.